Hello, rip-offs, rip-offs, rip-offs. No one does rip-offs so well as the Italian film industry, but on occasion they come up trumps, and what is emulated or plagiarised could arguably be better than the original, or just as enjoyable. An alien dupe, and believe me, there were quite a few in the wake of Alien in 1979, such as these little gems that I'm showing in front of you, is the 1980s film Alien Contamination. And this is what we're going to have a look at on today's Look, and Look Again.
Preview time.
Hot on the heels of his Star Wars ripoff, Star Crash, director Luigi Cozzis focused on alien contamination, or simply contamination if you're in the UK, Asteron Brut de Schrecken if you're German, and by doing so he brought us a lively piece of intergalactic exploitation cinema. This was in fact inspired by Ridley Scott's Geiger-esque stellar alien nightmare, who in part owes plenty to Mario Bava's Planet of the Vampires, made 14 years previous. Contamination starts with a nod to Fulci's Zombie 2, with an unnamed boat drifting into Manhattan, its cargo a mystery. The local authorities are notified of this arrival, and the health department employee Dr. Turner and police Lieutenant Aris, played by Marino Massey, are sent to sleuth. The boat is identified as the Caribbean Lady, and on board mutilated corpses are found with odd-labelled crates and mysterious pulsating eggs. To the sheer horror of the investigating team, when the eggs are handled, one explodes, showering everyone, with exception to Aris fortunately, in goo. With those caught by the gunge, they swiftly explode externally, drenching the scene in a shower of offal and viscera, filmed lovingly in decelerated ambulation. Lieutenant Aris escapes the viscous erupting alluvium just Enter Colonel Stella Holmes of Special Division 5, played by Louise Marlowe. She sets about quarantining the eggs and sleuths further. And with the help of Aris, they both establish that the eggy eggs contain a form of bacteria, and possibly couldn't get much further away from a chicken's arse, as these eggs come from the stars. Establishing that the Caribbean lady was destined to a warehouse in the Bronx, Colonel Holmes arranges a raid. The location is full of the things, but rather than being nabbed, the employees commit suicide by machine gunning the green globes, causing another rainstorm of repugnance and goo in one of the movie's highlights. So you can imagine what the aftermath of that's going to be like. Holmes researches further and recalls an expedition to the planet Mars, where something similar to the eggs was found by 2 astronauts. And to establish more clues as to what the link is, she meets ex-astronaut Hubbard, played by boy's own hero Ian McCulloch, he of Survivors and other spaghetti splatter candy, such as Zombie Flesh Eaters and of course Zombie Holocaust. We like McCulloch here at Look, Look and Look Again. Hubbard says that he did witness the toxic eggs and other Martian nasties beneath Mars, but fellow astronaut, the now deceased Hamilton, said it was a load of bollocks, and Hubbard was struck off in a flurry of disbelief and ridicule. Poor old Hubbard, he's at his wit's end here and has resulted to becoming an alcoholic. Holmes believes him, though, and asks for his help with her case, as long as he stops the drinking. Hubbard, Arras and Hamilton, a fine triumvirate, joins forces to unveil the mystery. They find Hamilton is alive and well, and is running a coffee company in Colombia, and so jet off for a further snoop, and hope to reveal the truth behind a possible cover-up. Still vexed, though, as to why. The three find they are not welcome in one of the movie's highlights. A pod, ripe for detonation, is placed in the steamy bathroom of Hamilton, which she just escapes with her life by the pluck of her teeth. Marvellous little scene, this. Anyway, Holmes and Harris infiltrate the coffee plantation in disguise as potential buyers, whilst Hubbard discovers the pods are being cultivated very carefully by the plantation workers. Holmes and Arras are exposed and have an audience with Hamilton, who's not dead after all, and he explains he hopes to take over the world with the assistance of his alien master known as the Cyclops, with a lethal gooseberries as the ultimate weapon. Arras and Holmes are led to the creature itself, where Arras ends up as the main course and Holmes is primed for dessert. Hubbard, though, comes to the rescue. With machine gun blazing and fists punching, he saves Hamilton in the nick of time and shoots the Cyclops in the eye, causing the creature agonizing destruction, along with Hamilton, who it sort of like achieves some form of symbiosis. The day is saved. Or has it? Luigi Cozzis brings comic strip to life with alien contamination, and it is pure, blissful hokum. Dubious acting, silly dialogue, and at times poor dubbing flourish in this production, as in most spaghetti schlock cinema. Combining this with the cheap but surprisingly effective special effects, this pure unbridled charm we have come to love with Italian exploitation cinematic art flourishes through every scene, and despite all of this sounding negative, it is in fact the positives, in my opinion, of the film. This is pure exploitation at its best, boy's own exploitation, with plenty lashings of bravura. Prog rock outfit, The Goblin, provides Contamination's bass and synth soundtrack, which at times sounds otherworldly, and has a certain infectious dread about it, which is another highlight, and is scored perfectly to the film. So much so, as its impact, it was used again in director Bruno Matti's chow mein splatterfest Zombie Creeping Flesh, just for good measure. The gruesome images, especially the splatter ones, that more than likely resulted in Alien Contamination getting a video nasty status and consequently caused it to be banned in the 1980s. In the United Kingdom, the duodenal detonation scenes were courtesy of special effects maestro Gianetto De Rossi, and they seemingly, if you watch this film, bathe in visceral relish as it's played in slow motion like a Sam Peckinpah film, but with lashings of the red stuff, obviously influenced by John Hurt's notorious jolt effect from the Alien film in '79. Cozzis claims he was also influenced by Hammer Productions' 1956 movie The Quatermass Experiment, and this is clearly identified by similarity with the astronauts returning to Earth, bringing something nasty, very nasty, back with them from beyond the stars in tow, ultimately threatening mankind. I absolutely love Contamination. Lurid, highly watchable. It's a trash-tastic, pot-boiling pleasure to behold, and doesn't try to be anything else. Why should it? Although one can see the effort that has been given in creating this little trash masterpiece. The original Pre-Video Recordings Act UK release on VHS is intact, but a 2-minute dialogue scene is missing. When it was released again on video, post-Video Recordings Act, 2 minutes and 50 seconds of stomach splatter ended up on the cutting room floor. It was on the short-lived European Creative Video label. Also, they released a severely truncated version of The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue. Denmark, Germany, Australia and Japan released it on a VHS home video uncut. And then, on DVD, the film was given a new lease of life, released by Blue Underground, and this was fully uncut, and it was about 2004. And then, finally, in 2015, the United Kingdom got an uncut DVD Blu-ray release, courtesy of those wonderful people at Arrow Films, and despite its original video nasty status and the hiatus that it was embroiled in, this was released in its full glory, rated with a 15 certificate. Ideal for a Sunday afternoon view, or Friday night with a few jars, or if you just come back from the pub. There you are. This is Alien Contamination. How do you like your eggs? Sunny side up, scrambled, or savage? Until next time on Look, Look and Look Again. Cheerio.
Bridge. It's not answering our radio calls. Hey, Matt, the suspense is killing me. What do you think?
There's not a soul in sight. Really weird.
There's somebody in there, I'm sure of it. Do you mean they come from outer space?
Why not? How many worlds are there in the universe? Millions. Perhaps billions.
Unless they come from much closer, but...
Mars has always stimulated man's imagination. But as far as that cave was concerned, there was absolutely nothing in there.
You were telling the truth all along.
But these are photographs. But there hasn't been another expedition to Mars.
No. These were found here, on Earth. Thousands of them.
The woman is Stella Holmes, a first-class mind.
gentleman and lady would like information about our coffee.
All your questions will be answered here. It's too late. Hamilton has got your friend.